The Minnesota Vikings have finally extended tight end TJ Hockenson, making him one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. I will say this, at the current time of filming, we do not know the exact contract details. All we know is that the Minnesota Vikings are making him one of the highest paid tight ends in the entire league. And once we find out those contract details, I will just post the details on today's pinned comment. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But it was Tom Pelissero that ended up breaking the news as he tweeted out saying the Vikings and TJ Hockenson have agreed to terms on a contract extension that makes him one of the NFL's highest paid tight ends. Sources tell him and Rap Sheet. He was acquired from Detroit last fall, and Hockenson has flourished in Minnesota and looks like he is sticking around for the long haul. And I agree. He was absolutely great for the Minnesota Vikings last year. We'll kind of take a trip down memory lane in a little bit here on today's video, just kind of really showing the impact that Hockenson had on the Minnesota Vikings last year. And hey, now you pair him up with Josh Oliver, making one of the more exciting tight end rooms in the league for the next couple of seasons. But guys, this is why you guys hit that subscribe button. Anytime there's breaking news around your Minnesota Vikings, we will have a video for you guys ASAP. So if you guys haven't already, go down there, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are a new face here, join the family. Join us here at Vikings Now and lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel. We would really, really appreciate it. And all I got to say about this is it's about damn time. This was one of the weirdest kind of events going on throughout Vikings training camp and throughout this whole Vikings offseason. But they do end up locking up TJ Hockenson for the near future, and I think it's a great move. We've been kind of waiting on this throughout the entire offseason, and he will be in the Minnesota Vikings purple and gold for the next couple of seasons. But last year he was fantastic when he came over to Minnesota. Just over 900 yards. He had 6 touchdowns, and 2 games where he really stood out to me last year were both against the New York Giants. I mean, in the regular season, he went over 100 yards. In the postseason, he went over 100 yards against them. I really think him and Justin Jefferson complement each other extremely well. I think once, once Jefferson's getting all those double teams, getting that bracket coverage, to have that big body tight end to, own that middle of the field, I think it's just a huge advantage for Kevin O'Connell's offense. And this situation was getting weird because, let's just say we go back all the way to the start of training camp. TJ Hockenson wasn't participating in team drills. Okay, we kind of just said, he's probably waiting on his contract extension. He doesn't want to risk injury. And then it came out that he was dealing with a lower back issue. So we were like, okay, was it he was waiting to get that extension, or was he dealing with his lower back issue? And then another report came out that he said he had an ear infection, and that's why he hasn't been participating in team drills. And then another report came out that said the Vikings and him and his camp are extremely far away on the next contract extension for him. So the whole situation was getting weird, and I was getting a little concerned that Hawk might have not been there for week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Kwesi, he got it done, so claps up to him. Thank God, because this was one of those situations where, it could have got ugly, but Kwesi put it to bed. So, like I said, we don't have the contract details yet at our disposal, but this is the top 5 highest paid tight ends in the NFL as it stands right now. New York Giants tight end Darren Waller takes the top nod. George Kittle at $15 a year. Travis Kelce, can't believe Travis Kelce's playing on $14.3 average annual salary. Then you got guys like Goddard and Mark Andrews. I'm assuming Hawk's going to be around the $15 million range. I really hope the Vikings don't get him up there to the $18 million range, considering we did give Josh Oliver $7 million during NFL free agency. That would just be a lot of money into that tight end room. So we're going to have to wait and see. But again, I will be pinning a comment for you guys once we get those full details, so make sure you guys stay tuned there. But this Vikings tight end room, I really do think it's one of the more underrated rooms in the league, because I think you got the top end talent. You got obviously TJ Hockenson, who I think is a top 5, top 7 tight end in the league. Then you got Josh Oliver, the most underrated run blocking tight end in the entire NFL. The Vikings paid him that bag this offseason. Then you also got guys like Nick Muse and Johnny Mundt, who Kevin O'Connell, he has a man crush on Johnny Mundt. Johnny Mundt's going to get the reps this year, whether you like it or not. He played a lot last year, even when Hawk did come over at the NFL trade deadline. But, yeah, I think the Vikings do have one of the better tight end rooms in the league. And I think Hawk and Oliver, just that dynamic duo, I think it's going to change life for this Vikings offense. Because you have kind of a yin and yang sort of situation here where it's like Josh Oliver, one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Oh, you pair him up with TJ Hockenson, one of the best receiving tight ends in the league. And we know the Vikings offense last season really struggled to establish the run. They were 26 in rushing all of last year. Well, how do you combat that? How do you fix that issue? You add multiple tight end sets. You add a guy like Josh Oliver. So that's why I think just this Vikings offense, you're going to see 2 tight end sets more than you saw last year, and I'm excited about it. And also last season, Hawkinson was Kirk's guy on third down, even dating back to Kirk's days in Washington on how he used Jordan Reed on third down situations. I mean, we talked about it on this channel when the Vikings did end up trading for Hawk. We were saying, like, this is huge for Kirk Cousins' game specifically because we know how comfortable he is with that tight end position, kind of using it as his safety blanket. So it's just good to have him back, pair him up with Kirk. Maybe Kirk, sticks around for years after. But on third down last season with the Minnesota Vikings, he had 28 receptions, just over 350 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the one play on third down that sticks out in my head is the whiteout game versus the New York Giants when it was TJ Hockenson just running a little go route on the left side of the field. He was one-on-one with the New York Giants corner. Kirk stepped back, hit that back foot, threw it up to him, and TJ Hockenson just put it on his head. So Hawk's back. Kirk's going to need his third down guy. So good to have Hockenson locked up. But guys, we actually have something extremely fun going on at the Chat Sports offices today. My man Mitchell Renz is getting a Raiders tattoo live on YouTube right now. So you guys can go check it out once you guys are done watching today's show. If you guys head to youtube.com/Raiders Report, I'll put that link for you guys in the description and the comment section on today's show. But he is getting a live Raiders tattoo live on the Raiders Report right now. You guys can see it on screen. It's going to be sweet. He's going to be doing it for the next 8 hours. So tune in, show some love to us here at Chat Sports. And it's youtube.com/The Raiders Report. Now, some upcoming contract extensions. We've shown this graphic a lot because, the Vikings, they're going to have to pay a lot of these guys, specifically on offense. Like, we know we're just moments away from this Justin Jefferson contract extension. It feels like he's going to break the bank. He's going to get upwards of $30 million per year. And then obviously Christian Darrisaw as well. Like, he's not going to get paid this offseason, but next offseason, Darrisaw is going to get paid, and he's going to want a lot of money. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. We obviously know the left tackle position is a pretty big-time spot in the NFL. Then obviously my man Matthew Peterson's favorite NFL wide receiver, KJ Osborne. He's going to have to get paid as well. So these are 4 big contract extensions the Vikings did have coming up, and it's good to have Hawk already check in that box. But, Kwesi, listen, I know you're watching today's video. You watch all my videos. Get Jefferson locked up. This has gone on way too freaking long, and I just want to get that notification on my phone that Jefferson has been extended to a 10-year deal, whatever it may be. Give him the Mahomes contract, Kwesi. Give him 10 for $500. I really don't care. Just make sure 18 stays in the purple and gold for the next upcoming seasons. This was the contract extension that we have seen thrown out there. Seen it on Twitter. I think Vikings fans, listen, this is a lot of money. I'm kind of indifferent on like this type of deal. This has been getting a lot of steam on Vikings Twitter, but a 6-year, $200 million deal for Justin Jefferson, averaging about 33.3 year or per season, and then guaranteed we set it at $180 million. I would pay him this, but it would obviously be extremely risky. You would have to get extremely creative around the cap, but hey, if it means we got Jefferson for the next 6 years, I would be all on board for it. But guys, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. Again, once we get these contract details, I will be pinning a comment on today's show. Let me just check one more time before we head on out of here. Yeah, it's looking like we don't have him yet. But TJ Hockenson, he's getting locked up by the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to be the Vikings tight end for the next couple of seasons, making him one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. Feels good. Good move by Kwesi. Good day to be a Vikings fan. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, stay in the loop, and we'll see you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.